Green Bay Packers at the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans.
Yeah,
that's Al. That's how Al does it.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna criticize you as being weird, but
no, I
guess if
I say
Al
New
does
Orleans.
it's okay.
I say New Orleans, and Al says New Orleans.
Yeah.
So that's how you have to do it.
Well, that's how the rest of the world says it.
Yeah, it's not right. It's Nolans. You gotta go Nolans.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna start. We're gonna talk both quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees. Mm-hmm. Where do you want to start?
Brees.
Okay.
He's done. It's over. Good night.
Stop it.
Old man Brees.
Stop.
Get him out.
You are. I expected more from you. I
No.
expected more from you. Like, you're no different than Max Kellerman or Skip Bayless. Like, there's no analysis to age equals 41, 2 bad games, done. There's more to that.
Okay. You want the actual analysis.
Yes.
For the last 2 years, late in the season, Brees has looked like this, right? But early in the season, he's looked fine. In fact, for 3/4 of the season, he's looked fine. And then late in the year, it's fallen off a cliff, and it's like, that's disappointing. But don't worry, next year, he'll be back again, and we'll get going. Last year was more concerning than the year before because last year he had like a 5-week holiday in the middle of the season. Injured his thumb, wasn't throwing, had a chance to chill and not wreck the arm, and yet still fell off a cliff late in the season, right? That's kind of worrying because that means the arm is on like a pretty short or a pretty low pitch count before it just falls off a cliff.
Agree with that point.
This season, you've got that guy in week 1 and 2. There's been no like honeymoon period where you get great Drew Brees for 3 months and then it falls off a cliff. It's already over the cliff. It's lying at the bottom of the cliff in flames, having plunged over last season, and nobody's put it back together again in the offseason. So right now, your franchise quarterback, the guy that is supposed to lead you to the second Super Bowl ring, the whole thing has been built for 2020, right? This team is so all in on 2020 that they tried to like fiddle the rules a little bit by like a sign and trade deal to bring people in just to get people under the salary cap, right? That is how all in for 2020 they are. But the NFL was like, no, you can't do that. So they're so all in for that. And yet right now, the guy that's supposed to take them there is the biggest drag on the team. The quarterback can't win the way he's playing. They couldn't beat the Raiders playing the way he's playing.
All right. There's no doubt he hasn't played well. 60.6 grade. That's 30th in the league. I am concerned, but I'm not ready to write him off. I'm not throwing him out like everyone else is.
Okay.
Because they can still win. They're going to be really limited. They can't throw the ball down the field very well. It's still not as bad as it looks. The misses that looked terrible on broadcast included 2 passes to Jared Cook where he's stopping on routes, Josh Hill stopping on routes. There's miscommunications going on there. It's not like the dude's missing by a mile. I'm more concerned with the short area accuracy and the stuff that he's normally just unbelievable at. He looks rushed. All that said, here's why I'm not ready.
Those are disconnected, though.
No, I know. And our guy, Seth Galina, who we just hired this past year, lifelong Saints fan, and he had to write the terrible article about how Drew Brees is declining. I get it, and he didn't like it. And his biggest point was he's not making the throws that he normally makes. He's not pulling the trigger on the seam and the deep out and all that stuff. All that said, it's not like this is the worst stretch of play we've ever seen from Drew Brees. 2015, he was throwing legit ducks. Like, it looked like his arm was going to fall off. He sat out a game. He bounced back. He was fine. I'm willing to give it some more time. Whether he can adjust a little bit, whether this offense can still succeed up to 20 yards. And even if they're limited down the field, they can scheme it up and be okay. Like, I'm willing to give it a little bit more time because there's a track record of succce with Brees.
The problem is the older the guy gets, the less likely it is that he's going to bounce back.
I understand.
At some point, you're going to hit that cliff. And, I asked you the other day, explain to me the difference between Drew Brees right now and Peyton Manning when he hit the wall, right? Because same idea, right? You saw it coming late the season before, and it's like, well, he's bounced back before, he's come back. Like, there's no reason it should happen right now, and yet eventually it does to everybody except Tom Brady, apparently. But Brees is in the same boat. We saw it coming for 2 years now. We've seen it coming. Now it's here, and he doesn't have the arm to make the throws, right? And the last place the arm strength shows up is on the deep ball, right? The fact that he's uncorked one down the field, and completed a pass, forget that. Anybody can throw deep down the field. That is the last place arm strength shows up. Where it shows up first is when you have to try and rifle one in, first off platform from
velocity.
weird angles. B, then just trying to hit the angle, right? The 15-yard deep out is the traditional NFL throw that we talk about. But he's missing like 5-yard outs from the far hash because the ball's underthrown. He can't get it there anymore. And I think now it's in his head because I drew up this little slider thing on Twitter, right? If you've got arm strength, you've got accuracy, and then you've got like decision making and anticipation, just generally where you're putting the ball. I think you can be good if your slider is turned up on 2 out of those 3 things.
Right.
But if it's turned down on 2, you're done. It doesn't matter what the third one is. You're sunk.
The 2 are Minshew, anticipation
Right.
and accuracy with no arm strength.
But you need 2, right? Now, we know that Brees has no arm right now, so one of them is gone. And his calling card throughout his career has been that pinpoint accuracy. Guy's been the most accurate quarterback in the NFL forever. But he isn't right now. His accuracy is not where it's been, and I think it's because, like, the arm isn't there anymore. So he just can't get it where he's used to getting it. And if he doesn't have the accuracy as well, now you only have one of the sliders up, and that's not good enough to be where he needs to be.
And I guess my point is I don't know that the accuracy is going to be that bad the entire year.
Oh, man, I don't have a cough button.
You don't? Don't cough. Anyway, with Brees, I think I have a theory, and I put this out on Twitter too. People are asking me to explain it.
Okay.
I have a theory that it's not just velocity, right? With Peyton Manning, you clearly saw velocity's gone, right? But I think there's also just reaction time. As we age, Sam, you also are a little bit worse in your reaction time in general, overall athleticism. So while in theory, Drew Brees and Tom Brady, right, you can't throw anything at them they've never seen. Overload blitz, disguise, there's nothing they haven't seen. They will recognize everything, but can they react to it quickly? I think Brees looks rushed. And I've used that phrase on Brady throughout the years with quarterbacks in general. Sometimes they just look rushed. Their mind is not connected to their body like it used to be, or their body can't move as quickly as it go through progressions or get your footwork in order. I think that's a bigger issue with Brees. And here's what I'm just going to say. As an elite quarterback like Brees, you always make the Peyton Manning example, can you recognize that, adjust, realize maybe you got to do stuff quicker, have even more anticipation? I'm going to give him a chance to adjust. That's what I'm saying.
So here's the other thing, though. I asked you before, can you tell me the difference between Peyton Manning's decline and this decline? And I'll give you one. Peyton Manning had Brock Osweiler as his backup, right? So at no point was there ever a serious consideration of benching him. Even when he got injured and was missing time and Osweiler came in and didn't play worse, right? There was no drop-off with Osweiler as the quarterback. There's still no discussion about, well, when Peyton's back, do we put him back in the lineup? Of course he's back. He's Peyton Manning, and Brock Osweiler is Brock Osweiler. That's not what is here in New Orleans. They have Jameis Winston and apparently the second coming of Steve Young as the 2 backup options, right? At some point, that's a far more real conversation than it was with Peyton Manning. There is, particularly with a team that knows they've loaded up for a Super Bowl. Like, this is your one shot at this. So how long do you give him playing at this level before you say one of these guys gives us a better shot to win games?
The Broncos loaded up that year too. I remember they went all out TJ Ward in free agency. They went crazy in free agency.
But nobody's ever loaded up the way the Saints have.
Saints are in a special boat. We talked months ago about load management too. We said if you legitimately are trying to win a Super Bowl, Saints, do you sit Brees 5 games? Do you actually do that? And they have the quarterbacks to do that. You could have a Jameis.
Right.
You made the point. You said Jameis up to the 20 and Taysom Hill in the red zone?
Yeah.
Have you gone full Bill Walsh on us?
I looked up what Drew Brees' numbers in his declined periods. So late in the last 2 years and the first 2 games of this season, I looked up what his numbers were in the red zone because I was genuinely thinking about pitching this idea of Jameis between the 20s and Drew Brees in the red zone. Like, if maybe that would be the answer, right? Just take all the hard stuff out of Drew Brees off his shoulders and let him just execute in the red zone. But his grade in the red zone is ass as well during this period. So,
well, they've been taking him out of the red zone. They've been already taking him out for Taysom Hill for a whole bunch of stuff.
Here's the thing, though. If you, oh man, I need the cough button today. If you have the PFF podcast, if you're listening right now, dive back, listen to our podcast special on Joe Montana and Steve Young. Bill Walsh would be benching Drew Brees this season. There is not a doubt in my mind that Bill Walsh would sit this guy down if he continues to play like this.
You would have seen 3 throws in training camp and would have been like, nope, I'm out.
Steve Young 2.0, get out there. But, like, I'm just saying, so 2 games, I can see your case for let's give him a little bit longer. If he goes out there, plays exactly the same against Green Bay.
In a dome.
Yes. and Green Bay being one of the other competitors in the NFC. And if they blow them out of the water, you have to make a move then, because you've just seen that you can't beat teams like that with a quarterback playing like this.
Jameis would be fascinating in this offense. Let's go to the other side of the ball with the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, our highest-rated quarterback, just incredible. Highest-rated quarterbacks in each of the first 2 weeks. Of course, our highest-rated now through 2 weeks. The biggest difference for Rodgers, I keep coming back to, special stuff has always been there. He's playing within structure. He is getting rid of the ball faster than ever. 2.5 seconds. He's 7th fastest in the league. It's not his game historically. It's let's extend, let's hold on the ball, let's make big plays. But the fact that he's doing that, scary. That's 2014. That's 2011. Those are his MVP season type of style. The ability to win within structure and outside of structure. So he's been awesome.
It's funny. We've had this debate about what is the problem in Green Bay. Is it Aaron Rodgers? Is it the offense? Is it the receivers? What is it? And every year you can make this argument that, well, it's a bit of both, right? It's some of Rodgers, it's some of the receiving help, it's some and then this season it's like, well, Rodgers has turned it around. He's the only thing that's different because all they did is draft like his replacement and a bunch of bit parts to the offense, so it has to be him. But the offense is structurally changed as well, right? This season, bunch formations, it's one of those ways of like scheming up receivers because you get them free releases off the line. You cause some chaos amongst the DBs trying to cover them all. You make them sort of stick to these very rigid rules so they don't all run into each other essentially when the routes cross. Bunch formations. This year they're 5th most in the NFL in terms of percentage. The 3 years before that, 22nd.
Wow.
This year, motion, pre-snap motion and shifts. They're 2nd in the NFL in terms of usage. Last 3 years, 20th. So the offense has done what everybody's been sort of asking it to do, which is, look, these are free ways of scheming you extra yardage and open receivers. Why would you not be using them? And for years they haven't, and it's always been part Rodgers, part the fact that they're not giving him these free plays. Now they're finally giving him these free plays, and I suspect he's, on this revenge tour, and suddenly you get 2011 MVP lighting everybody on fire, Aaron Rodgers.
Jordan Love, most valuable player in the NFL.
Oh, God.
No, I've heard Rodgers talk about that, and he said, I've always been of the mind, I don't like the motion and stuff because I want to see the defense. Right? And that was Peyton, right? Peyton, for years, they ran 2 formations. He knew what the defense was, and he just did the opposite of what they were playing because he could see it. So some quarterbacks actually like the static look. Rodgers says, now the motion look gives you tells and just gives you more information to use and schemes guys open. Green Bay's using it really well. Rodgers has adjusted really well. It's going to be an awesome game, I think. Packers and Saints. It's a huge game for the Brees narrative. It's a huge game for the Saints looked like they're loaded up, right? The best team in the NFC. Are they really? Or is it the Packers? Who do you like in this one? Saints by 3, by the way. Hold on.
Yes.
Vegas is saying, I'm not done with Brees yet. Right. And I know they're not fully adjusting for home field advantage right now this year either. They're saying we're not done with Brees yet. And Michael Thomas, still not back.
There's a couple of lines in this week that I find amazing, and this is one of them. It is in New Orleans, but there's, it's not like it's a packed stadium with noise. I think Green Bay should be favorites for this game. Forget against the spread. 3 points for the Saints, given what we've seen from them so far, is nuts. The Packers are better. Aaron Rodgers is light years better than Drew Brees right now, and that, frankly, is the biggest needle mover of all of it. One last point about this, right?
Yeah.
If you're benching Drew Brees, which guy do you put in?
Jameis. God. Absolutely Jameis.
Coward.
Jameis and his aggressiveness in an offense. Last year, Drew Brees and Teddy Bridgewater, 1 and 2 for most open throws. Most open throws as a percentage. That's a scheme thing and a playmaker thing. If you give that to Jameis, he's going to throw some tight window stuff in there that he shouldn't throw. He is going to put up 5,000 yards again.
Where's Jameis's comparison to a Hall of Famer 2.0? I'm just saying we got Steve Young 2.0 over here. Jameis is just Jameis.
Yeah, there's no Vinny Testaverde. Is Vinny in the
Vinny 2.0?
That's his. That's his comp. Jameis still has that in him. I'm taking Green Bay.
Yes.
In this one.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.